So I have a question for you. Have you ever considered buying a rental property in one of those cities somewhere in the Caribbean, paradise cities, with the idea of buying the property and make the investment in a way that you can make cash flow every month, that the property will pay itself, and on top of that, you will have a place to come and stay every time you come and visit the city? I have thought about it, and so in this video, I'm gonna take you to Cartagena in Colombia. And we're gonna review a couple of properties, we're gonna review the city, and what would it take to make an investment that will cash flow, say you put it on Airbnb, and see if that was actually a good idea. So you ready? Come, vámonos. One of the reasons to consider buying a rental property here in Cartagena or an Airbnb unit is the sunsets. Beautiful, beautiful sunsets that happen obviously every day here. Is my check comes down to 25,000 pesos, and when we do the math, let me just do the math here really quick, is 25,500 divided by 3,400 equals this 7.5, so that's $7.50. My dinner, really nice dinner in a nice restaurant. Have dinner for one person and a beer for $7.50. So that's one of the reasons why also you wanna come to Cartagena and Colombia in general. Everything is cheaper, about 3 times. A dinner like this in New York, probably $20 at least. Mine was $7.50, including the tip, and the food was actually really good in a nice restaurant, nice environment. So that's one of the good reasons to also, you know, do Colombia and Cartagena in particular. Now, that over there is Boca Grande. That's actually the place where it's kind of like the best part of town, where most of the hotels are. That's the place that tourists associate with Cartagena. The best beaches, all the major hotels are there. And in my opinion, if you are planning to do an Airbnb unit here in Cartagena, that's the place you want to be. It's going to cost you more to acquire the properties. You know, the prices are higher there, but I believe long term is going to be better because that's the place where tourists want to stay here when they come to Cartagena. That's Boca Grande right there. This is an example of a great construction done here in Cartagena. This is a building where you have a shopping mall, then you have a hotel, and then you also have private apartments. And it's done the right way. Same thing with this building over here on the right. It's a convention center. I think it's less than 5 years old. Those are 2 examples of modern apartments done the right way. Now let me show you, if those are examples, let me show you a warning. Things that you also got to keep in mind here when it comes to construction. Now this one is going to be an example of actually a warning of the kind of projects that went wrong. You see that building over there, the 2 towers? They have been building it, I believe, since they were due to be ready in 2010, just 11 years ago. It's one of those pre-construction projects where investors put some money down and they were supposed to get the apartment ready in a couple of years. That never happened, and so that's something that you got to be careful when buying a pre-construction project. Make sure you know who is behind, and I will only do it if the big dogs are behind that project. And you can ask your broker. The big dogs are not that many here, so you want to make sure that whoever is selling you a pre-construction, if you decide to go that way, is something that they're going to perform for sure. Now this building behind me is called Murano Elite, and it is one of those properties where you want to invest. It is modern, located in Boca Grande, front view of the ocean, and it's one of those places where the administration actually allows Airbnb. So this will be one of the target buildings or type of buildings that you will want to locate your Airbnb units.
Now in Cartagena there is a whole real estate market related to the old city. Houses that are 500, 600 years old, that are actually historic homes, that if you were to take on them, you have to probably rehab, and it has to be done the way the government will allow you. Plus, the cost of those properties, last time I checked, were over $1 million. So for the purpose of this video, we are not going to analyze that part of the real estate market here in Cartagena. We're going to leave the properties inside the old city out of the analysis.
I'm going to take you now into a couple of pre-construction projects that potentially could be a good Airbnb opportunity. And I'm going to start with this one right here. It's made by this company that is actually a legit company with a lot of experience, right here in front of the ocean. Okay, this is not Boca Grande, but it's an area that is up and coming. Like, you know, look at these new building. So this is something that could be a good location for an Airbnb unit. And on top of that, right here on the advertisement, it says that you can actually rent the property to tourists when you're not here. So that to me sounds like the perfect alignment of what I want from the administration of the building. I want to make sure that they are okay with an Airbnb unit should I decide to make that investment. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to come inside, talk to a rep, let them walk us through the project, and that way we can know the numbers, and then we can take the numbers and do a calculation and see what it will be like to buy this type of property, rent it on Airbnb, and see what kind of return you will get. Okay, Cartagena, great. Why Cartagena is good for tourism? Very good. The actual project is going to look really nice right here in front of the ocean. I like it. The location right here. This is the airport. This is Boca Grande, this is the historic center. Boca Grande over here. So this between the airport and here is probably like 5 minutes or so. Maybe more, but whatever, 5 minutes, 7 minutes. And on this side, to the historic center, which is where all the tourists want to come and visit for sure. 5 minutes on a car, or you can actually drive that. Walk that distance. So obviously the location is really good. The architecture, excellent, beautiful. You know, pools, good view of the ocean. Let's see what else. Access to the beach. That's the front. Let's look at the inside of the property. Layouts. Look at the views. That's beautiful. If you have an Airbnb unit with this kind of view and this kind of interior, for sure I think you're going to be able to rent it out. 3 towers, 263 apartments from the ocean, great. The pool, common areas, look at that, very elegant, really nice. Look at the pool. This is what you want in a vacation. Obviously, gym, amenities, all of that stuff. Amenities. That is the project. Now let's go see, take a quick look of the apartment, the model, and the prices. I'm gonna look now into a couple of projects. I just tried to learn more about the project, but the first thing I found out is that the actual project is not gonna be built here in front of the ocean, so I'm not interested, so we're gonna skip that one. I think the research is over for now. Next, I would like to take this information, this overview of the city, put it on a spreadsheet, and then be ready to calculate the numbers and see if this actually makes sense from the investment point of view. So to do that, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take basically the information they send me from this project. And by the way, as I mentioned on the video, this is a company in Colombia, well-known company, and so that's a company that I will consider doing a pre-construction. I know that they're gonna build it, and I'm not gonna lose my money. So they sent me this website for me to review, and just to reconfirm what we saw before, this is a brand new construction right here in front of the ocean. Look at this, right here in front of the ocean. It comes with all the, near to all the places that you want to be related to the tourism in Cartagena. And the apartment that I'm going to analyze is this one, 94 square meters. And when we change that to square footage, it's about, I think I did it over here on this screen. It's 1,000 square feet. So I'm going to compare properties in Miami, similar properties, comparable properties under 1,200 square feet. Why Miami? Because I'm going to assume that you are an investor that could potentially invest in the US, and this is an alternative for you as an investor to bring your money down to Cartagena. So I think it's a good idea to compare your money in Cartagena versus your money in an ocean city with Latin American flavor like Miami. So I think that's why it makes sense to make a comparison. Right, so this is what I did over here. This is Miami, Florida. And I'm focusing only on new construction, condos or apartments, right? That's what it says here, condos or apartments. At least 2 bedrooms, okay, or more. And then the square footage, I put no more than 1,250. Also, waterfront property. That way we can compare apples to apples. All right. So doing that, I came out with these results. That's what Silo is showing me. And I'm gonna sort it by price, low price to high price. So the lowest price is 2,430,000 to 2.4, 2.5, 2.5, 2.6. And as you can see, this just from the picture, I can see that it's right there in front of the ocean. And if I were to click it, let's look at interior pictures of that property. So yes, right there in front of the ocean, beautiful, brand new. See, this is great. This is a good comp. We could compare this one. Washer and dryer, view of the, of the pool, common areas. So let's compare this one with the pictures that they are proposing here on this property in Cartagena. Let's see what the pictures are. There we go. So that's the outside, beautiful pool with view of the ocean. The aerial shot. Those are the pictures. So yeah, look, common areas. And this is how the apartment will look in the inside. So actually, the actual properties, they look similar. So for the analysis that I'm going to do, this will work. So this is what I did. I'm going to, here on the information they sent me via email, let me open up my spreadsheet. I'm gonna do a basic calculation, and I'm gonna make some assumptions, and I'm gonna compare Cartagena versus Miami. Okay, so this is what the first item, I'm gonna go to Airbnb, and I'm going to review how much it will cost me to stay on that apartment. And so I have it over here for Cartagena. I just took a random date, 7 days, May the 12th to May 19 for 4 people. And these are the results that I got right here in front of the ocean. From the pictures I can see it's the front of the ocean, front of the ocean, front of the ocean, right? So, and I know the area, this is Boca Grande, and this particular Hyatt H2 in Cartagena is the same operation that will operate this Vivanti project. Similar, so because of that, I'm going to use those as my reference point. So let's see, how much do they charge? And this is I did it for 4 guests. So the prices that they are charging is $67 per night, $73 per night. So I'm going to make an assumption. Again, this is not a perfect, but we need to make some assumptions. So what I'm going to do is, here on my spreadsheet, I'm going to do an average of these two, 73 per night, 67 per night. So I'm going to put on my spreadsheet $70 per night. This is how much revenue I should charge on a regular month. The next thing I'm going to, let's do the numbers first for Cartagena. So first, $70 per night. I'm going to make the assumption that I'm going to run this business really good, and I'm going to have a 70% occupancy rate for my Airbnb unit. That gives me a gross revenue of $1,470 per month. Now, and it says here additional room revenue. This is what happens. There's something really cool about this project. I didn't know, but they actually, you buy a 2-bedroom apartment, right? The 2-bedroom apartment, 94 square meters. And what you do is you actually give to them, there is like a tourism operator, like a hotel operator, that will rent your second room as a hotel. And this is going to work basically as a hotel. They're going to advertise it as a hotel room. So you allow them to take the second room on your apartment. Let's see if we could see the floor plan. I can open it. Floor 2. Let's see if I can see this. I can show it to you here. This is the actual building, but I want to see the apartment. 294 meters. Maybe if I click here. It's not showing it to me, but that's one of the characteristics about this project. You give to them, basically allow them to rent your second room, and so that room will create a revenue. They told me it's going to add, they have a calculation on their website at 40% occupancy for that room, which is low. They are doing their calculation only on 40%. Comes out to about, when I do the conversion to dollars, $235 additional that you are going to make. And you don't have to do anything for this room. They do everything, right? So that's why here on the spreadsheet I have $1,400 plus $235 at 40%. It could get higher because 40% actually, they are making an assumption that only 40%, the reality, it should be higher. But I like the fact that they are using the low number. So when I add the two items, I get $1,705 per month. That is my gross revenue. And for that, on the next assumption I'm going to make is I'm going to give 20% away to a property manager, plus other fees, the administration fee, maybe the utilities. I'm going to use 25% for this analysis. So my total fees is $426 per month, which gives me a total revenue of $1,278 every single month. All right. So I'm going to now compare the acquisition cost, and they gave me pesos, 643 million pesos divided at dollar exchange today when I'm making this video of 3,400 pesos for $1. So altogether that comes down to an acquisition cost of this property in front of the ocean of $188 $189,000 to buy this property cash, right? And if I go into analyze the cash on cash return, so I take my $1,200 per month that I'm gonna make, multiply by 12, and then I'm gonna divide that by my acquisition cost or 189. In this particular case, I am not taking it into advantage, I'm not adding the cost of closing costs and other fees, just the acquisition cost. Or the cost of me, if I'm gonna pay cash, I will go there and try to get a rebate on the price. But let's just say that I pay full retail price. So it will be $189,000. Okay, that's, when I do that, it gives me a cash on cash return of 8.1%. So to me, I don't know what 8.1% means to you. To me, it's kind of like low for an Airbnb unit, because it's active income. You have to be on top. It's not passive. You have to actually work for this 8%. But now let's go and compare a similar property. What will happen if I run all these numbers in Miami? So let's go here to the Airbnb Miami, which I have it right here. First, let's analyze how much I can get on the ocean. So I already went here on Airbnb. I put the same dates, 4 guests, and only I want to compare two properties right here in front of the ocean. So if I'm gonna rent this apartment, I want view of the ocean. And this is what I came up with. What is it right here? This one, these two. I'm gonna compare these two. So one, large ocean view. So just from the picture, I can see that there is view of the ocean. If I could just click on the two. This view of the ocean, very modern apartment. This is what I want. This does compare with the other one. So how much do they charge per night? $588 per night. Okay. And then let's look at another one, which is this. Let me click on it. Really nice apartment. Super host. I can from the apartment I can see the ocean in Miami. So yes, this qualifies as a comp. They charge $679 per night. So just for the sake of this analysis, I'm gonna just take $679 plus $588, and I'm gonna divide it by 2. That gives me an average of $633 per night. That's what I'm gonna put here on my spreadsheet. Then I'm gonna do the same assumption, 70% occupancy rate for a gross revenue of $13,000 per month. There's no second room here that you give to nobody, so you don't make any money out of a second room. So that gives me a total revenue of $13,000 per month. Property management fees, I'm gonna put it at 25% as well, for a total fees per month of $3,323. All right, when we do that, the revenue per month, it will give me almost $10,000 per month. And the next item, how much it will cost to acquire this property in Miami. So for now, I'm gonna go to Zillow, and I'm gonna request Zillow to show me right here in front of the ocean, new construction, condos, at least 2-bedroom apartment. Is exactly what I put for my analysis in Cartagena. Front of the ocean, I only want to see properties in front of the ocean, and these are the numbers that I'm getting: 2.4 million, 2.6, 2.5, 2.69, 2.7, right? 2.8. So just to like make an example, I could do an average, but I'm gonna go to like the lowest comp, which is $2.5 million. So apples to apples, if I were to buy this property in Cartagena, is $189,000. If I want to do it in Miami, it's $2.5 million. So obviously it's much more money. What is that, like more than 10 times more? You also get 10 times the revenue, because it's only $1,400 in Cartagena. In Miami you get $1,300, so it's 10x. So definitely the investment is higher. You are comparing obviously Cartagena, which is, developing country, Colombia, versus Miami, which is Florida. It's hot right now, is the US. and that everything is part of this analysis. And when we do the numbers, look at the cash on cash return for Miami. It's only 4.79%. It's actually a lower than what it will be in Cartagena. Is 8%. All right. So this would be apples to buy a property in Cartagena versus doing it in Miami. Similar properties, new construction in front of the ocean. So now you start to shape your idea. What is it that you will want to do? Does it make sense for you? I don't know. So let's do a final analysis with a third option. What will be the third option? The third option is not to do anything, not to make that investment in Cartagena, not to make the investment in Miami, and maybe just take that cash and invest it on rental properties, say in a rental state like Ohio. What will you do if you spend those $200,000 in Ohio? Can you get a higher return? And then instead of just running this operation in Cartagena, all you do is you go visit Cartagena, rent an Airbnb for the time that you want to be there with the money that you make from your rentals in Ohio that maybe they're more passive. Let's look on the board, the three options, and let's see what will make sense. Cool? Let's go check out the board. So now let's take these those numbers that we figure out on the computer. Let's take it here to the whiteboard. This is what I have. I have three potential investments. The one in Cartagena, the investment will be $189,000 at 8% return. Similar property you could do in Miami, $2.5 million at 4.7% cash on cash return. Right, these are my two options. I get to own a property in front of the ocean. That's fun. That's a lot of fun to have, brand new property. I like it. I like that idea. $200,000 here, $2.5 million here. Now, there is a third option that I think is the cost of opportunity. And for this analysis, we're going to make the following assumption. It's going to be an Ohio, buy rentals basically in Ohio with that money. In Ohio, and this is not going to be the subject for this video, but in Ohio, you can actually find an all-in rental, a single family home for $50,000 that will give you $850 per month in rental income. When you do that by the year, it's $10,200 minus 20%. We're going to make an assumption of 10% going to a property manager and another 10% going to cost of repairs and etc. Other expenses. That's 20%. That will give me a net revenue per year of $8,160. And when I analyze $8,160 versus $50,000 upfront investment, is going to give me a 16.3% return. So what does that mean? It means that I can actually, instead of going to Cartagena, going to Miami, I put my money on rentals over here. It will give me a higher return on the investment. It's not as fun as owning a property here in those places by the ocean, but it actually makes more money. So that's something to consider. Now, why would you want to buy a property in Cartagena? Why? When you have this particular option, why? My opinion, it all depends on where are you on your life. Maybe you already have 10, 20, 50 properties over here. You're already making money. So then you want to retire. Why not retire by the ocean? Having this opportunity to go to this property here by the ocean. So that will be one option, depending on where are you on your life. This idea of living by the ocean with a beautiful view, that's on the dream bucket of a lot of people, The ocean is always fun, warm weather. So that will be another reason to just say, hey, I'd rather just take 8% and then have this property over here. And then also, it will give you the sense of ownership, as I said, on a property by the ocean. It's just like, it's not related to how much money you're going to make. At this point, I would say it's something that you do just because, it's fulfilling. That will be a reason to to buy a property like that. And obviously the one in Miami, depending on where you are on your finances, you get to spend $2.5 million. That's a lot of money. But at the same time, you are making this investment in the ocean, in front of the ocean, in the United States, where the laws are, is more predictable, and, the assumption is that your money is going to be safer here in the US than in a developing country. So that is the whole overview between Cartagena, Miami, and this potential opportunity of buying rentals in Ohio. What would you do? What do you think is the best investment, the best use of your money? What would you do? I would love to hear that. Put it in the comments. Let me know what would you think. And if you like this kind of content, personal finance, real estate, please consider subscribing to the channel, and I will see you on the next one.